I'd like to introduce Troop 836, and if you gentlemen would, I'd like for y'all to stand up and introduce yourselves while Mary puts you on camera. Where are you going?
I am Jackson Willingham. I'm 10 years old.
Speak up.
I'm Day Luther, and I am 15 years old.
I am Luke Green, and I am 11 years old.
I'm Kay Toadville, and I am 12 years old.
I am Jacob and I am 11 years old.
I'm Will Glenmore, and I am 14 years old.
I'm Mitchell Rice and I'm 13 years old.
I'm Aaron Sebastiani, and I'm 12 years old.
I'm Damon Swisher, and I'm 12 years old.
I'm Riley Davis, and I'm 13 years old.
And the scout leader, could y'all please introduce yourself?
Robert Davis. I am 42 years old.
Easy.
Terrence Green, I'm 26 years old.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go. I'm going to call this meeting to order. And as we're starting off, I'd like to ask Mr. Green, Scoutmaster Green, if you would, if you do the word of prayer, please.
Lord, we just thank you for this opportunity, Lord, to come together, Lord, and to be able to work out details and be able to help uplift each other and support each other and find resolution to our problems, Lord. Just pray that you'd be with each one here. Pray that you'd be with those that are in the audience. Lord, this is their first time, and they'd listen up, Lord, and they would learn from the adults. Pray that you'd be with them as they return home. These things we ask in Christ's name.
Amen. And while we're standing, I'd like to ask these young men from Troop 836 to start us off on the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Attention to pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank y'all very much. You may be seated. Thank you, Mr. Green. Appreciate that. All right, we're down to item number 4, the approval of the agenda. I went through it. Mr. Barnes, have you had time to go through the agenda? Only change that we need, we have done another proclamation. It's a Red Ribbon Week proclamation that we've done this morning. I'd like to add that on to the agenda, on the consent agenda, item F. If that would be amenable to you, I'd like to approve the agenda with that addition. Okay. All right, I have a move, and I'll second it myself. We have a move and a second. Any further discussion? None being, all that in favor, let know by saying aye. Aye. None opposed, thank you. And then at this time, normally Ms. Denny handles on item 5 the employee recognition. I'm going to turn this over to Mr. Barnes to do the employee recognition.
It looks like it's gonna be easy. I don't think we got too many here. One.
You got two.
No, we got
You got
two.
two. You got Jason.
Two. Okay.
He's gonna know how hard it is to stand.
All right. We have two 20-year employees here.
And 10 years for me.
Jason, you want to come on up? You get a fancy one. That's cheaper.
Pure gold.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Thank you. All right. Our other one is Donald Dukes.
Jeff Dukes? Jeff.
He's not here. Okay.
What about Larry?
Larry's not here. You said he's on his way back
He's on his way back from Queenstown.
from Kennesaw.
You got the bottom one down there.
I can personally live with that.
Always at the bottom.
Always at the bottom, that's good at the bottom. This gentleman here is Randy Thomason, 10-year service.
You
Thank you, Randy.
get the pictures.
And before y'all go down, they won't pitch.
We'll learn you to dress casual.
I'm not staying 20 just between the two of us.
I'll get on my tiptoes here. That's better. That it?
Yep.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Huh?
Can I have my fire chief come up with me as well?
Yeah, but you don't have his hair fixed.
It's not even morning.
He wants a picture.
That's like a picture of my fire chief.
Little esprit de corps there.
That's what we did yesterday.
Yeah, but I don't think I
All right. Thank you, Mr. Barnes. Now that brings us down to item number 6 on the consent agenda. I am not going to read all these proclamations because we've got 6 of them and I've already read them one time. Pretty tough. On item A, we signed a proclamation for, you're going to ask me to pronounce that word right there. Dysautonomia Awareness Month for October. We signed a proclamation for dysautonomia. Okay, item B, we signed a proclamation for National Attendance Awareness Month for September. Item C, we signed a proclamation for the Constitution Week, September 17th through the 23rd. Item D, we signed a proclamation for the Marble Festival, which was October 7th and 8th. And on item E, we signed a proclamation for Domestic Violence Awareness Month, which is in October. And then also item F, we signed a proclamation for Red Ribbon Week, which was Awareness Month also. All right. That's got us down to old business. Mr. Barnes, do we have any old business?
Not to my knowledge.
You don't know any either? We have no old business, right? That brings us down to new business. Under item 8, under new business, item A, City of Jasper annexation of parcel 041-0U2-104, which is 24.06 acres. And I'll read the following. Please be advised that the City of Jasper, Georgia, by the authority vested in the mayor and the council by Article 2, Chapter 36, Title 36 of the Official Code of Georgia, anointed, intends to annex the property hereinafter described by ordinance at a regular council meeting. The following is a description of the property being annexed and proposed zoning and land use for the area. Parcel number 041-0U2-104 consisting of 24.06 acres requested by Amiclola Electric, current owners of the property. This property is located at 5544 Highway 515 South in Jasper, Georgia. The zoning requested with the annexation is C2, which is general commercial. A map of this parcel is attached pursuant to OCGA 3636-4. A public hearing on zoning of the property to be announced and tentatively scheduled for November 16, 2017, 6 p.m. at the Jasper City Hall. If the county has any objection under OCGA 3636-113 in accordance with the objection and resolution process, you must notify Mr. Sonny Underwood, Planning and Development Director, within 30 calendar days of the receipt of this notice. The reason why Amiclola Electric is having to be reclassified and annexed into the City of Jasper is they're tying on to city sewer. And under the city's rules and regulations, in order to have city sewer, you have to be in the City of Jasper. So they are conjoining with the city, and the property does border the city. So that being said, I want to make a move that we accept the annexation for this particular parcel. I need a second.
Second.
Have a move and a second. Any further discussion? None being all that favor, let nobody saying aye.
Aye.
None opposed, thank you. All right. All right, that brings us down to item number 9 under finance report, and that's going to turn us down to Ms. Faith Harvey.
Okay, thank you. The finance report that y'all have is for the year ending September 30th, and that reflects 9 months of our fiscal year. So expenditure budget should be at 75% or less. On the revenues, the total revenue through 9/30/2017 is $9,971,863, and that is 39.05% of the total revenue budget. Expenditures for the general government functions, the total expenditures are $2,290,233, and that's 66.2%. For the judicial function, total expenditures were $2,382,883, and that's 65.96%. For public safety, expenditures were $8,982,985, and that is 69.67%. For the public works functions, expenditures were $2,329,990, and that's 72.16%. For the health department, senior center, and the MATS program, expenditures were $482,093, and that's 60.63%. For culture and recreation, expenditures were $667,401, and that's 71.68%. For housing and development, expenditures were at $401,197, and that is 65.28%. So total general fund expenditures were $17,536,782, and that is 68.68%. For the enterprise funds, the water department expenditures were $1,691,905. That's 78.92%, which is slightly over where the expenditure should be, but they had they've already put in purchase orders for the generators, which are going to be reimbursed by a grant. So once that that revenue comes in, we will adjust the budgets, and they should be back in the budget. For the airport, expenditures were $266,003, and that is 67.11%.
All right. Mr. Barnes, you got any questions on that? Ms. Fay, thank you very much. We don't need to move a second to approve that. All right. Thank you very much, Ms. Fay, on the financial report. That brings us down to item number 10 on the action items. A, approve the minutes. We had number one of the approved minutes. We had a regular board meeting on August the 17th, 2017. I need to move in a second to approve those, Mr. Barnes.
So moved.
And I'll second that. We have a move in a second. Any further discussion? None being, all in favor, number saying aye. Aye. None opposed, thank you. Those minutes have been approved. Also, on item number 2 of that, we had a called board meeting on September the 28th of 2017. I need a move in a second to approve those minutes, please.
So moved.
I'll second. We have a move in a second. Any further discussion? None being, all in favor, let know by saying aye.
Aye.
None opposed, thank you. Those minutes have been approved. And then, of course, under number 3, the work session meeting, which was on October 5th, 2017. I need to move in a second to approve those, please.
So moved.
I'll second that. Any further discussion? None being, all in favor, let know by saying aye. Aye. None opposed, thank you. Those have been approved. Thank you very much, Lisa. All right, that brings us down to number B on the rezone request. Mr. Todd Youngblood. Let's see here. All right, resolution of Pickens County amending the Pickens County Land Use District Ordinance number 67. Whereas the Commissioner of Pickens County adopted Pickens County Land Use District Ordinance on or about May 2nd, 2005, and whereas Pickens County Board of Commissioners find such amendments, this is not it. Do not believe. 10.6, it is it too, okay. Yeah, along with here we go. All right, whereas Pickens County Board of Commissioners find such amendments to be useful, necessary, and proper, protective of health, welfare, and safety of the public, and whereas it is desired of the Pickens County Board of Commissioners to promote the goals and objectives and policies of Pickens County and the cities of Jasper, Nelson, Talking Rock Joint Comprehensive Plan 2003 through 2025. and whereas in the belief of the Pickens County Board of Commissioners that in so doing protects the health, welfare, and safety to the public. Now therefore be it resolved that the Pickens County Board of Commissioners and the Pickens County Land Use District Ordinance is to be amended as follows. Todd Youngblood submitted an application to rezone 10.65 acres of property located at 1005 Tap Mine Road in Jasper, Georgia. The current use listed for the property is industrial, and Mr. Youngblood would like to rezone the property to agricultural. If approved, the intent of Mr. Youngblood is to build a small cabin on the property to utilize as a vacation getaway home. Property is located to the north and east of the subject tract or highway business, HB. Property located to the west is rural residential. Property to the south is agricultural. The Land Use Intensity Ordinance, Chapter 67, Appendix A, Section 11, criteria to consider for map amendments. The capability with adjacent uses in district, the proposed land use intensity district ag may be suitable in the light of existing rural residential and agricultural uses and districts of surrounding and nearby properties. Property value, the subject property may be a reasonable economic use under the current land use intensity district. However, the surrounding area is rural and this section of Tap Mine Road is gravel. Agricultural may be more appropriate than industrial. Suitable. The proposed land use intensity district ag may be suitable for this property, but vacancy and marketing information not readily available to staff, evidence of need. The proposed application may promote the public health, safety, morality, and or general welfare. Number 6, public facilities impacts. The proposal for ag may not result in a use causing an excessive or burdensome use of existing streets, utilities, etc. Consistency with comprehensive plan, this area is identified for rural development, which includes agriculture. As a recommended district, this proposal is consistent. And then there was none other conditions. The Planning Commission recommended approval during the October 9th meeting. Staff recommends approval of the application for rezoning and tax map of 054114. The vote count is not on this list here. What was the vote? 6-0?
It was unanimous, yes, sir.
All right. Mr. Barnes, do you have any questions to that? No?
We accept their recommendation.
All right, I have a move to accept the recommendation. I will second that move to amend the Pickens County Land Use Ordinance map in regards to parcel 054-114 composed of 10.65 acres from industrial to agricultural. I have a move and second. Any further discussion? None being, all in favor, let know by saying aye. Aye. None opposed, thank you. It has been approved. That one. All right, that brings us down to item number C, insurance renewal options. This is the insurance for the Pickens County employees for the coming year. We have decided, we've had work sessions and all, and with the insurance, and you've had time to review. I know Ms. Denny has had time to review, and I think the overall consensus is pretty well stay with the proposed option 2. And with that being said, only changes that's going to be in option 2 is primarily the same with what we've got now, other than, let's see here.
There's a few prescriptions.
Yeah,
Years that will change.
Yeah, prescriptions will change.
The plan, the group health plan remains with Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Yeah, the group health plan will remain Blue Cross and Blue Shield.
I think the one that we're looking at is the life,
It
the
is.
life and the disability.
The life and medical, dental, vision, basic life, but the overall plan is still Blue Cross and Blue Shield. And I really don't think there's not going to be a price increase with the employees, I don't believe, is it? You
No,
remember?
it's about
Pretty about the same.
5% increase in cost.
And Paula will have the details on that. Dealing with insurance, I just about, it's got as tough as raising the millage rate. Anyway, I need to move in a second. Do we want to stay as we got with the proposed? All right, that's your move to do so. All right, and I will second that move. Have a move and second. Any further discussion? None being, all in favor, let know by saying aye. Aye. None opposed, thank you. All right. I'm gonna give that back to you. That brings us down to item number D under the LMIG road paving schedule. we have discussed and went through the roads listing for the next coming year. The LMIG now, and for the public not to get confused, the LMIG is the money that we get from the state to match the funds that we've got for the county to pave numerous roads here in Pickens County. And with the local SPLOST that we have, the paving has, as you have all seen in the last 2 years, has really escalated. So, that being said, this LMIG does not necessarily mean this is all the roads that we're going to pave next year. We've got some personal funds or some county funds that we're still going to try to do some roads other than above and beyond the LMIG project. So that being said, I need to move a second to approve the LMIG. We can go ahead and turn this into the state.
So moved.
Have a move, and I will second this. And have a move, second, any further discussion? None being, all in favor, let by saying aye.
Aye.
None opposed, thank you. That takes care of the LMIG list, and Johnny can go ahead and send that to the state. And we're going to get back, what was that figure? I think it was approximately $537,000 from the state. What we'll be receiving, along with the funds that we will match with us to pave some roads. All right, that brings us down to item E, New Year's Eve alcohol serving pouring resolution. What this is, we have been approached, the Beer and Wine Board has been approached, as well as the county commissioners. It so falls that the Pickens County Board of Commissioners authorized the sale and drink consumption of, on the premises, serving of malt beverages, beer and wine, and or spirits for restaurants with existing alcohol licenses on Sunday, December the 31st, 2017, New Year's Eve. A one-time only from the hours of 12:30 on December 31st, 2017 until 1 a.m. on January 1st, 2017. One time only. If this happens, these dates happen to fall again, they will have to come back and reapply. So that being said, I need a move and a second to approve this one-time leeway.
So moved.
All right, have a move, and I will second. Have a move and a second for one-time resolution for this. Any further discussion? None being, all in favor, let by saying aye. Aye. None opposed, thank you. All right. Now that brings us down to the GFA loan on Grandview Lake. We've got a loan approved. What they are asking, once this GFA loan is signed, we have 6 months to initiate the draw of the loan. What we would like to do, if we possibly can, is get the commissioners to vote to give me the authority to sign in January. That being said, the reason why is because, two reasons. We give a 6 month from January, 6 months out to get the project started. And also, if the weather starting in November and December comes to the fact that we can't get in here and have a meeting to go ahead and get approved at that time, we can go ahead and get that laid to rest. We've had many discussions over this project. It is approximately 1.4, 1.6 for the monies to repair the dam in the road that goes over Grandview Lake. That money to be repaid by Grandview LLC.
That's
1.4.
The loan is 2.6.
The other part of the loan is 1.6 is for Pickens County is going to wind up with a 333,000 gallon a day withdrawal permit with a water treatment plant. And it'll be the first in Pickens County. We've been pushed over the years to try to come up with a reservoir for Pickens County to be more independent with our neighbors. And this helps Pickens County do that at pennies on the dollar. And it's a project that we've had some engineering companies look at. So, all that being said, and that being vetted, I would request, and I know I'm going to have to vote for it because Mr. Denny's not here, but I'd like to request that we hold off on signing that GFA loan until January. And give me the authority to do so in January, as it is written today. We don't want any change.
The paperwork has to be received by them.
By February the
By
20th.
February 22nd.
22nd, that's correct. So,
Make me authorize you to sign on the paperwork.
all right, and I'll have to second that since Ms. Denny is not here. I have a move and a second. Any further discussion? None being, all in favor, let by saying aye.
Aye.
None opposed, thank you. All right, that brings us down to item G under peddlers and itinerant merchants ordinance. Richard, give me a Reader's Digest first. I'm not going to read 4 pages here. Just tell me what the change. I know we already got an ordinance, but give me the recommendation of what y'all want to change it to.
We need to change it because the court system previously handled licensing of peddlers. They no longer do that. The state legislature voted to no longer have the court system handle licenses for peddlers. We need it in-house, and so planning and development would license peddlers, the very few who we have, maybe 1 or 2 a year, make this request, but we would handle it just like we do business licenses, except that it would be more thoroughly vetted. They would need to have certain documents on them at all times in case there's a complaint from someone and they get stopped by a sheriff's deputy or somebody else. They need to have the license on them at all times, their identification, their verification that, let's say they're selling Velvet Elvis on a corner, and they have to have the property owner's verification as well, because somebody could just set up and the property owner might not even know about it. Who this does not apply to. This is not agriculture. This is not bumper crops. This is not kids selling Girl Scout cookies. This is not lemonade stands. This is none of that. This is adults who want to, for example, last week we had somebody call me and say, can I hand out tobacco coupons at gas stations to adults? And that person wanted a peddler's license. So this new ordinance would, through planning and development, give us a process to license them and track them.
Who would enforce, the marshal or the sheriff's department, or both?
I mean, it could be both. It would be either or, depending on the day and time and circumstance.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Mr. Barnes, what's your? I have a move, and I will second that also, but we think that the state has kind of put it in our court to enforce these. Have a move and second. Any further discussion? None being all in favor, let know by saying aye. Aye. None opposed, thank you. All right, that brings us down to mobile facilities ordinance, item H. And I'm going to refer back to Mr. Osborne on mobile facilities ordinance.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. So these 2 items back to back are related in that they're both text amendments for Chapter 34, which is health and sanitation, and the Board of Health through the environmental health staff. The Pickens County Board of Health has already adopted these 2 text amendments. One is related to campers and septic tanks, septic systems. The other is minimum lot sizes when somebody wants to get a new septic system on that lot. And it really just echoes and strengthens our existing Pickens County standards. Environmental health had been just using state policies and standards, and Pickens County Board of Health had not formally adopted these amendments. Again, this is not a change to Pickens County standards. And regarding campers and septic, I will note for the record that as of this date, the only grandfathered existing situation that we have, which is not grandfathered, it's just allowed, because there is no grandfather by this regulation for campers. The only allowed situation that is designed as a campground and in a zoning district that properly allows for campgrounds is the Talona Creek Campground on Carnes Mill behind Pickens.
All right. And then the lot sizes, to give the public information on the lot sizes, our lot sizes are not actually changing. You still have to have an acre if you've got county or city water and a septic tank. You still got to have an acre and a half if you got a well with a septic tank. You still got to have an acre and a half. Nothing changes other than it puts parameters to that point. Is that correct?
That's correct, and there are always going to be old, it might be 50 years, it might be 30 years. There are always going to be old existing legal lots of record. So there might be 30 years ago, somebody might have had recorded at the courthouse 0.8 of an acre. Well, it's still a current lot. It's a legal lot of record. So if that piece of land never got developed, and somebody today wanted to develop that 0.8 of an acre, if they could get a septic permit with environmental health, then our office would be glad to issue them a building permit. Anything that's, you know, not going to meet today's standards of environmental health for septic, it would have to be reviewed on a case-by-case basis.
All right. And to make it clear to the public, environmental health is a state agency. They're in this building, but they are a state agency. They are not under our purview other than I do furnish them office space. Just kind of set us up one-stop shop whenever somebody wanted to come in and build a house. They didn't have to drive all over Jasper to get permits and all. So a lot of people get confused and think that the commissioners are over public health, and we are not. It is a state agency. All right, let's see, Jerry. Mr. Barnes, on the mobile facilities ordinance on item H, I need a move and a second to approve the changes to that.
So moved.
Have a move. I will second that. Have a move and a second. Any further discussion? None being, all in favor, let know by saying aye. Aye. None opposed. Thank you. And then under item I, the lot size ordinance. Need a move and a second to approve that.
So moved.
Have a move, and I will second that. Have a move and a second. Any further discussion? None being, all in favor, let know by saying aye.
Aye.
None opposed. Thank you. All right. Now that brings us down to guests and comments, but before we get into guests and comments, I'm gonna have to back up a second. Officer Jeff Duke just has arrived, and I would like, if Mr. Barnes didn't mind, give Mr. Duke his award, please. $20 years.
20 years of service. We're pleased to.
Come on down here in front, guys. We're gonna get pictures.
Take pictures of the entire group again.
Huh?
Take pictures of the entire group.
Yep.
Randy left.
Randy left.
Come on, since you're dressed up.
So I'll do some major Photoshop.
You gotta open up your thing.
I can't look backwards now. We're centered up. All right.
I got it? Right.
Thank you.
All right, now that's going to bring us down to item number 11 under guest. Any comments? Anybody got any comments?
One thing that I would point out to you, Mr. Youngblood
Yes.
is in the audience that you did his zoning request. He is here.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Congratulations. All right, any? Well, Bart? Huh?
Bart isn't here.
Bart, okay, where is Bart? Bart's not here tonight. Anyway, we got Halloween coming up. Y'all be safe during Halloween and the holidays, by all means. Y'all have a wonderful weekend. Thank y'all for being here, and be safe. This meeting is now adjourned.